Good morning, everyone. So now we will gonna be talking and discussing about the information that is comprised in the environmental health. By the way, allow me to present to you the group four. For the first part of our discussion, we will be talking about the diseases and disorders caused by poor environmental sanitation. Okay, next slide, please. So first is we will gonna be talking about respiratory diseases. So respiratory diseases, well, the ozone in the upper atmosphere shields us from ultraviolet radiation from the sun. The high amount of ozone at the ground level is a major health hazard. When sunlight comes in contact with nitrogen oxide and volatile organic compounds from emissions of industrial facilities and electrical utilities. So, respiratory diseases, it causes breathing problems like coughs, bronchitis, and asthma. Next slide, please. Next is skin diseases. So, when weather is hot and humid, prickly heat is most common. Sweat glands are clogged, resulting in tiny bumps. The heat rash causes a prickly sensation. Prolonged exposure to the sun can exceed the body's protective pigment to protect the skin. So, these are the symptoms of sunburn. So, repeated exposure to air pollutants can cause skin conditions like eczema and acne and other skin diseases um, that is found in our PPE. Okay, next slide, please. Now we will talk about gastrointestinal diseases. So polluted water and poor sanitation are responsible for most diseases that infect the stomach and intestines. So for example, untreated sewage is discharged into surface waters, causing red tide that affects marine life. So the status of your water supply reflects the pollution level of your community and makes you susceptible to other waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid fever, and dysentery. Next slide, please. Now we are gonna tackle about what is neurological impairment. So examples of neurological impairment are lead in mercury poisoning, which is why hazardous materials containing this should be disposed of properly. So poisoning or plummeism can make you anemic, weak, and lose your appetite. So it also causes brain damage as well as learning and behavioral problems among children and birth defects to the fetus. So many are still manageable and reversible. Remember, Earth's resources are finite and should be conserved and preserved for future generations. So it is time for you, for us, to re-examine our behavior and attitude that contributes to worsening pollution. So let us change them and persuade our community to help in improving our local environment. So that would be the first part of our discussion for today. And now I'm going to call Ms. Mary Liz Villamor to tackle about the second part of our discussion.
Thank you, my dearest partner, Miss Ethiopia. Now you have learned already the diseases and disorder caused by poor environmental sanitation. Let's proceed on how we should avoid in getting these. Here's our environmental sanitation. The environment plays a crucial role in human health and the preservation of life on the planet. Earth is home to a variety of living species, and we are all reliant on it for food, air, water, and other necessities. As a result, it is critical for each of us to save and protect our environment. And here's when environmental sanitation comes in. Environmental sanitation refers to the process of removing contaminated water and other waste products from residential areas in order to protect people's health. A polluted environment is the source of many diseases. Airborne and waterborne infections are the most common. The main goal of environmental sanitation is to keep people healthy. We can avoid illness spread by keeping our surroundings clean. For instance, when it comes to water. Water is an extremely precious resource that living things need to survive. Plants and trees need water to grow. Animals and humans need water to keep their bodies healthy and working correctly. Humans also use water for cooking, washing, cleaning, and farming. We rely on water for so many things. Potable water is water that is considered safe to drink. Tap water has usually been treated by local municipalities to make it potable, but there are times when the supply has been contaminated and we must treat water before using it. Non-potable water is untreated water from lakes, rivers, groundwaters, natural springs, and untested ground wells. Now here are some ways to access the potable water. First is boiling. Boiling water is the cheapest and safest method to water purification. Next slide please. The second one is the filtration. Filtration is one of the effective ways of purifying water, and when using the right multimedia filters, it is effective in ridding water of the compounds. This method uses chemical and physical processes to purify water and make it safe for human consumption. The third one is the distillation. Distillation is a water purification Distillation is a water purification method that utilizes heat to collect pure water in the form of vapor. This method is effective because of the scientific fact that water has a lower boiling point than other contaminants and disease-causing elements found in water. The fourth one is the chlorination. Chlorination is a powerful chemical that has been used for many years to treat water for home consumption. Chlorine is an effective water purification method that kills germs, parasites, and other disease-causing organisms found in ground or tap water. In most parts of the world, water is considered a scarce resource. Though it might sound strange because there is much water on Earth. The thing is 97.5% of the water is salt water, and the remaining 2.5% is fresh water. You cannot deny the fact that we are also losing many resources, including water. So here are 10 tips or things you can do to help protect our water quality and conserve water. The first one is to utilize biodegradable or non-toxic household or cleaning products. The best way to keep from heating is to use products that are not dangerous to the environment in the first place. Another one is to flush responsibly. Never flush unwanted or out of date medicines, diapers, personal hygiene, and any other products. Third one, don't put anything except watered down storm drains. Motor oil, detergents, non-fertilizers, pesticides, and other contaminants get carried by storm water to local waterways and could cause harm. The fourth one is to avoid using pesticides or chemical fertilizers. They pose a serious threat to your health and safety. The fifth one is to pick up The fifth one is to pick up after your pets. Like other contaminants, pet waste can run down the storm drains, spreading bacteria. Next slide, please. White mud. Cover areas of bare soil with mulch or plant grass or ground covers to keep rain from washing soil into storm drains. Next is to block the buzz. Prevent mosquitoes from breeding by eliminating standing water in old tires and clogged gutters. Next one is to participate in a clean-up drive. Participate in nearby cleanup days to aid to keep junk out of the water. Next one is to practice water conservation. Use a rain barrel to water your garden. Use a rain barrel to water your garden or install low flow shower heads and toilets and fix leaking taps. And last one, spread the word and be a water advocate. Talk to your neighbors about how they can help too and work with your local elected officials to ensure that pesticides and other antibacterials and other toxic chemicals are not used in schools, local parks, and other public areas. Now let's proceed to the next element. Air is a natural resource on Earth that sustains life. It consists of one of the main life-sustaining gases, called oxygen. Now here are some of the factors that could contribute to air pollution, like deforestation, burning fossil fuels and firewood, and cutting down trees. To overcome this issue, we need to bring out well-planned strategies. We should take stringent measures to combat air pollution in an effective way, such as prevention of air pollution, tobacco control, and anti-smoke belching drives. It is also better to replace hazardous substances with natural complements to eliminate toxic gases. Breathing polluted air affects our health and environment. Here are some simple actions we can take to reduce air pollution and keep the air clean and safe. Walk, bike, carpool, or take a public transit. Reduce heating needs by making your house more energy efficient. Say no to wood fire burning. Use hand-powered or battery-operated garden tools. Know before you go. Check your tire pressure. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Be needle-free. Garden without pesticides, and get involved. We should also support national and local efforts to clean up the air. We all need to stand together and help each other to reduce air pollution in the atmosphere, to give a safe and healthy life to our future generations. Now let's proceed to the noise pollution. We know that the sound is a form of energy. Sometimes the sound can be soothing to, Sometimes the sound can be soothing to listen to, and at times loud to hear. Now, regular exposure to a higher sound level that impacts human and other living organisms is known as sound pollution. Noise is the unpleasant and undesirable sound which leads to discomfort in human beings. The faintest sound which can be heard by human ear is 1 decibel. Now, here are some of the causes and sources of noise pollution. We have here the industrialization. It leads to an increase in noise pollution as the use of heavy machinery. Next is the common one. We have here vehicles. We also have here events. Weddings, public gatherings involve loudspeakers to play music, resulting in the production of unwanted noise in the neighborhood. And lastly, we have here construction sites like mining, construction of buildings could cause or add to noise pollution. Here are also some of the examples of noise pollution: unnecessary usage of horns, using loudspeakers either for religious functions or for political purposes, unnecessary usage of fireworks, industrial noise, construction noise, and noise from transportation such as railway and aircraft. Noise pollution can be hazardous to human health in following ways. Hypertension. It is a direct result of noise pollution, which is caused due to elevated blood levels for a longer duration. Another one is hearing loss. Constant exposure of human ears to loud noise that are beyond the range of sounds that human ears can withstand damages the eardrums, resulting in loss of hearing. Another one is sleeping disorder. Lack of sleep might result in fatigue and low energy level throughout the day, affecting everyday activities. Noise pollution hampers the sleep cycles, leading to irritation and an uncomfortable state of mind. It can create a hamper sleeping pattern. And the last one is the cardiovascular issues. Heart-related problems such as blood pressure level, stress, and cardiovascular diseases might come up in a normal person, and a person suffering from any of these diseases might feel a sudden shoot up in the level. Noise pollution can also affect health and show signs of aggressive behavior, sleep disturbance, increase in stress level, and fatigue. Now, here are some noise pollution preventive measures that could also prevent us from having a noise pollution. Honking in public places like teaching institutes, hospitals, etc. should be banned. In commercial, hospital, and industrial buildings, adequate soundproof systems should be installed. Musical instrument sound should be controlled to desirable limits. Dense tree cover is useful in noise pollution prevention, and explosives should not be used in forest, mountainous, and mining areas. Now, how to reduce noise pollution? First is turn off appliances at home and offices. Shut the door down when using noisy machines. Use earplugs. Lower the volume. Stay away from noisy area. Follow the limits of noise level. Control noise level near sensitive areas. Go green by planting trees. Now let's proceed to pests and rodents. Pests are one of the many nuisances that can disrupt your place of business. They may seem harmless, but they can create a multitude of issues, ranging from contamination to added cost. Now, first we have here the rodent or borne diseases. First, we also have here the pest, example of pests and rodents. We have here example like mice and rats, bats, pigeons, and insects such as bedbugs, houseflies, fleas, and food beetles. These pests and rodents could cause diseases to our body that could harm our body. We have here first the rodent-borne diseases. Under these rodent-borne diseases, we have leptospirosis. Leptospirosis is an infection caused by species of Leptospira bacteria. It is caught from the urine of infected animals, which include rodents and also cattle, pigs and dogs, and humans can be infected by direct contact with urine or other animal body fluids except saliva or infected animals. This could also be passed through contact with soil, water, or food contaminated with the urine or infected animals. Now we also have here the salmonellosis. Rodents can carry salmonella bacteria that cause illness in both humans and pets. Infection occurs by consumption of food or water contaminated with rodent feces. We also have here the typhoid fever. Typhoid fever is endemic in many developing countries where poor hygiene is widespread. How do these rodent-borne diseases get transmitted? Inhalation or direct contact with rodent excreta, urine, feces, and saliva, bites from rodents, like microorganisms carried in saliva can infect both humans and other rodents. Drinking contaminated water or eating contaminated food, rodents acting as sources for infecting ectoparasites like ticks, fleas, mites, and lice with various pathogens. Rodents can also act as reservoirs for various flying insect-borne diseases. It can also be get through scratches from rodents. Now, how can we prevent this pest? By removing any source of food, water, or shelter, store items in safe and enclosed containers, dispose of garbage, dispose of garbage regularly with tightly closed lid, reduce clutter or areas where pests can hide, seal and close off any cracks or holes to eliminate outside entry, and perform routine cleaning and surveying from the roof to the basement floor. Pests are any animal or insect that can have a harmful effect on humans and living conditions. Here are some of the most common pests we run into. We have here flies, ants, birds, rats, mites, mosquitoes, cockroaches, and bedbugs. Most of these animals are found in urban and rural locations. Now, how can we control these pests? Once you've identified pest intrusion, it's time to take immediate action. We have here two types of methods, the biological pest control and the chemical pest control. Biological pest control is the use of living organisms to help eliminate the infestation. These can be anything from predators to parasites to pathogens. We We also have here the chemical pest control. Chemical pest control is the use of pesticides to destroy harmful insect organisms. These solutions are typically easier to find and use than biological methods. With an active approach of the right products, you can ensure that pests don't get in the way of running your business or facility. Routine monitoring and a quick response can go a long way in preventing and controlling pests. Now, we should all work together to preserve the environment. According to the current news, we only have 3 to 5 years remaining on this planet. Others might think it's a joke. True or not, there is a high opportunity that this will occur if we do not take action and modify our poor habits. By simply picking up a trash and placing it in its proper location, we could be all heroes and protect our environment. Let us all work together to defend our planet, our home. If we destroy it, we would never be able to replace it from any market or other online purchasing sites. So let us save our environment and let us save our home. Let the earth win. That would sum up our discussion. If you don't have any questions, that would be all. Thank you for listening and God bless.